Welcome back to MidPoint from the Foreign Policy Research Institute, where he is co-chair of the Center for the Study of Terrorism, Edward Turzanski. Ed, let me ask you about Condi Rice today. She slammed the Obama administration, went right after them in the handling of Iraq, and said, and I quote, "What we're seeing is that when the United States steps back and speaks softly, nobody listens. Americans also don't like the world that they get when the United States is not deeply engaged and deeply involved." If you were to read between the lines here, this is Condi Rice basically saying, let's go to war and let's finish the job. But this is a president who from the very first day told us that he could get everything done via diplomacy. So has he not in many ways been proven to be the emperor with no clothes?
Absolutely, Ed. And let's keep in mind that this situation is a direct outgrowth of the refusal of the Obama administration to leave a residual force so that we could preserve the gains that were made, for which we paid a terrible price. And I think the key to what Condi Rice said is winning. And that's a word that never escapes the president's lips. Doesn't matter in Afghanistan, doesn't matter Iraq. He has now become infamous for drawing red lines that he does not enforce. And when you take a look at the world and you see regional aggressors on the move, in large part, they are testing the United States, and they recognize that this administration will not act in anyone's interest, let alone our own interests in some respects. And if you don't back the words of diplomacy with the credible threat of force that is overwhelming and is going to take you to a victory, don't be surprised if people test you all the time. They know they have a weak party staring across the table from them. And if it's Putin or the Iranians or the Syrians or ISIS, they do their worst because they know we won't rouse ourselves to action under this administration.
Regardless of whether we're doing business with them or they are an enemy, in your opinion, do most foreign leaders now see the president as little more than a buffoon?
Well, I'll put it to you this way, Ed. I have many friends in Central and Eastern Europe who will get in touch with me and they say, what has happened to your country? Stop and think, Ed. We canceled the missile shield deal with Poland and the Czech Republic on the 70th anniversary of the Soviet invasion of Poland in the Second World War. That's the day the Obama administration killed that deal. What does it say? Certainly tells the Poles that they're not regarded as an ally. And as part of the Russia reset, the administration wanted to get very close to Vladimir Putin. Remember when the president said to Dmitry Medvedev, tell Vlad after the election, I will have more flexibility. Well, guess what? Putin's putting that flexibility to work. He's tying Obama in pretzel knots everywhere on issues that are of importance to this country. It's not that he's a buffoon. He is seen as weak and unserious.
With regard to what is happening there now, there are reports in the last 24 hours, the possibility that America had killed al-Baghdadi, the head of ISIS. However, in the last couple of hours, there have been reports coming out again, and I think this is proper too, military officials saying, wait a minute, we're not sure, stop right there. Isn't the fear here that we just get a little bit too giddy at this point? And not only that, consider that even if you kill this guy, it won't really stop ISIS because these organizations worked very well without a head of the snake.
This organization is multifaceted. It has most of its competence really comes from Saddam's former military, because these are the people who have flocked to ISIS as the alternative to what was happening in Iraq. So you're absolutely right. And also let's keep in mind that it was the Iraqi military who said they had killed al-Baghdadi. We're going to need more proof than just the people whom we're there to help, because we've seen that their competence doesn't rise to anything that we would consider adequate for the job.
I've only got about 30 seconds left. What is your opinion on the president apparently trying to do some backdoor deals with the Iranians?
It's an absolutely terrible thing. The Sunnis are very mistrustful of the United States, very scared of this. The Israelis are discomforted by it. And again, it repeats bad errors made with the Russia reset. The Iranians are this close to an atomic weapon. They've spent tens of billions of dollars, survived these sanctions. They're not going to give up at this point by giving Obama something that we wouldn't find completely odious.
Edward Turzanski, an absolute pleasure to get your comments. I look forward to the time we do it again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed.
All right, after the break, a quiet and telling rebuke from the Pope. And Catholic bishops try to remember what a nice, quiet life they led before Pope Francis started shaking things up. And at 34 minutes after the hour, the 6 toughest challenges now being faced by America, and why we cannot fail to tackle them all head on if indeed we're going to get better as a country, economically and militarily. That and so much more coming up right here on MidPoint.